Thank you for listening to this episode of QuaranTEEN. Today is actually episode 11, which I think I accidentally had in the last episode, but the bonus episode is just a bonus. I'm not counting that in the series. Anywho, today we're going to be talking about allergies. What causes them? What do you do about them? My younger brother has a severe allergy to most nuts and sesame, the things you see on hamburger buns. Details. So let's start off this episode with 1 minute of headlines to update you on the world around us. 1. ABC News started off this Thursday by stating, coronavirus government response updates. Trump to speak with governors, saying he'll announce new reopening guidelines. 2. Washington Post reported, protesters clogged Michigan Capitol to protest lockdown. 3. Earlier today, NBC News claimed 2 felons break out of Wisconsin prison. Residents told, lock your doors. World News. 1. Fox News informed readers that British World War II veteran raises more than $16 million to help doctors, nurses during coronavirus pandemic. 2. Forbes published 140-plus coronavirus survivors retest positive for disease in South Korea, raising questions about immunity. 3. Miami Herald discussed how Florida coronavirus cases pass 22,800 as death toll jumps to 633. Business News. White House says new small business loan program is out of money, leaving many firms grasping for lifelines, claimed the Washington Post. Sports news. According to CBS Sports, PGA Tour schedule season 2 return in June with no fans at first 4 events, 6 majors in 2020-21. Other news. And finally, Kindling informed us that new magnetic brain therapy relieved depression in 90% of the participants in small trial. Now, let's jump into this episode with some vocab. So, the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, also known as AAFA, states, when someone has allergies, their immune system makes an antibody called immunoglobulin E, also known as IgE. These antibodies respond to allergens. The symptoms that result are an allergic reaction. There are 7 main types of allergies: drug, food, insects, latex, mold, pet, and pollen. I will explain these through a series of quotes from the AAFA for all good information, and that is starting right now. Drug allergies. Many people use the term medicine allergy or drug allergy. The majority of reactions caused by medications are more correctly termed as adverse reactions to drugs. True drug allergies are rare and caused by the immune system. Food allergies. A food allergy occurs when the body's immune system sees a certain food as harmful and reacts by causing allergic symptoms. Foods that cause allergic reactions are allergens. There are different types of allergic reactions to food. There's the IgE mediated, which these ones the body's immune system makes antibodies called immunoglobulin E. These IgE antibodies react with a certain food and cause symptoms. In the US, the most common cause of food allergy are these 8 foods, which we will talk more about later, but milk, egg, peanut, tree nut, soy, wheat, fish, and shellfish or crustaceans. And then also for food allergy, there's the non-IgE mediated. Other parts of the body's immune system react to a certain food. This reaction causes symptoms, but does not involve an IgE antibody. Someone can have both IgE-mediated and non-IgE-mediated food allergies. Not all people who react to a certain food have an allergy. They may have a food intolerance. Examples are lactose intolerance, gluten intolerance, or sulfite sensitivity. Food intolerance does not involve the immune system. And we'll talk more about this later. Insect allergies. Many people think of warm weather when they think of insect allergies. Warm weather does signal the arrival of some unwanted visitors like stinging and biting insects. However, you can find 2 very common bugs all year long in homes and buildings. Neither one needs to bite or sting you to cause an allergic reaction, but both trigger allergy and asthma in many people. We are going to go in depth on this right now. So stinging insects. Bees, wasps, hornets, yellow jackets, and fire ants are the most common stinging insects that cause an allergic reaction. When these insects sting you, they inject a toxic substance called venom. Most people stung by these insects recover within hours or days. In others, this venom can trigger a life-threatening allergic reaction. Biting insects, such as mosquitoes, kissing bugs, bed bugs, fleas, and certain flies, are the most common biting insects known to cause an allergic reaction. Most people bitten by insects suffer pain, redness, itching, stinging, and minor swelling in the area around the bite. Rarely, insect bites can trigger a life-threatening allergic reaction. A bite from a Lone Star tick can cause people to develop an allergy to meat. Isn't that weird? These ticks carry alpha-gal, a sugar. When a tick bites a person, it transfers alpha-gal into the bloodstream. The person's immune system then reacts to it. Alpha-gal is found in the mammal's meat, like beef, lamb, or pork. If you have allergy symptoms after eating meat, see an allergist. Household pets. Non-stinging and non-biting insects can also cause allergic reactions. Pests, not pets. I was like, these aren't dogs. Particularly cockroaches and insect-like dust mites. These two insects may be the most common cause of year-round allergy and asthma. Unlike a cockroach, a dust mite is too small to see with the naked eye. The cockroach and dust mites' waste and body cause allergic reactions. They can also trigger asthma symptoms and asthma attacks. And again, I just think this is important to stress. We're taking all of this information from the AAFA. What are the signs of an allergic reaction to insects? Most people stung or bitten by insects suffer pain, redness, itching, and minor swelling in the area around the bite or sting. This is a normal reaction. Most people get better within hours or days. An allergic reaction to insects that don't sting or bite, like cockroaches or dust mites, is different. You may sneeze, cough, have a runny or stuffy nose, or itchy eyes, nose, mouth, or throat. These symptoms can be confused with a common cold, but last for weeks or months at a time. If you have asthma, an allergic reaction could trigger asthma symptoms or an asthma attack. People can have a serious allergic reaction to stinging or biting insects. A life-threatening allergic reaction, anaphylaxis, produces signs and symptoms that require immediate medical attention. Without immediate treatment, anaphylaxis may cause death. Symptoms usually involve more than one organ system, which is a part of the body, such as the skin or mouth, the lungs, the heart, and the gut. Some symptoms include skin rashes, itching or hives, swelling of the lips, throat, or tongue, shortness of breath, trouble breathing or wheezing, which is whistling sound during breathing, dizziness and or fainting, stomach pain, vomiting, bloating, or diarrhea. Another one that they said, which I thought was interesting, was feeling like something awful is about to happen. Other serious but non-allergic reactions include a toxic reaction that happens when the body reacts to insect venom like it is poison. A toxic reaction can include symptoms similar to those in an allergic reaction. Other symptoms include nausea, fever, fainting, seizures, shock, and even death. Serum sickness, which is an unusual reaction to a foreign substance in the body. It can cause symptoms hours or days after the sting or bite. Symptoms include fever, joint pain, other flu-like symptoms, and sometimes hives. Now let's move on to latex allergies. The term latex refers to the protein in the sap of the Brazilian rubber tree. It also refers to natural rubber products made from that sap. Latex is in many everyday products, such as balloons or rubber bands, etc. Contact with these products can leave an allergic reaction. Some people have allergic reactions by breathing in latex fibers in the air. Some people have allergic reactions from skin contact with latex. Synthetic latex, such as that in latex paint, does not come from the sap of a Brazilian rubber tree. Exposure to synthetic latex does not cause the symptoms of latex allergy. What causes an allergy to latex? Many people use the term latex allergy, but not all reactions to latex are due to having a true allergy to latex. An allergic reaction is an abnormal response of the immune system to a harmless substance. People with latex allergies have oversensitive immune systems. Their immune system reacts to latex as if it were a harmful substance. Mold allergies. The symptoms of mold allergy are very similar to the symptoms of other allergies, such as sneezing, itching, runny nose, congestion, and dry, scaly skin. Outdoor molds can cause allergy symptoms in summer or fall, or year-round in some climates. Indoor molds may cause allergy symptoms year-round. Mold spores get into your nose and cause hay fever symptoms. They can also reach the lungs and trigger asthma. A chemical released by the allergy cells in the nose and/or lungs causes the symptoms. Sometimes the reaction happens right away. Sometimes a mold allergy can cause delayed symptoms, leading to nasal congestion or worsening asthma over time. Symptoms often get worse in a damp or moldy room like a basement. This may mean that you have a mold allergy. Pet allergy. Allergies to pets with fur are common, especially among people who have other allergies or asthma. In the United States, as many as 3 in 10 people with allergies have allergic reactions to cats and dogs. Cat allergies are about twice as common as dog allergies. I think this is kind of interesting because I have a dog allergy but no cat allergy. Mine isn't bad or anything, I just get hives. But anywho, is there such thing as a hypoallergenic pet? Now, this is a common misconception because people with dog allergies may be more sensitive to some breed of dogs than others. Some people may be allergic to not all dogs or all dogs, depends. People may think certain breeds of dogs are hypoallergenic, but a truly non-allergenic dog or cat does not exist. What causes a pet allergy? The job of the immune system is to find foreign substances, such as viruses and bacteria, and get rid of them. Normally, this response protects us from dangerous diseases. People with pet allergies have oversensitive immune systems. They can react to harmless proteins in the pet's urine, saliva, or dander, otherwise known as dead skin cells. The symptoms that result are an allergic reaction. The substances that cause allergic reactions are allergens. Pet allergens can collect on furniture and other surfaces. The allergens will not lose their strength for a long time. Sometimes the allergens may remain at high levels for several months and cling to walls, furniture, clothing, and other surfaces. I think it's interesting because everybody thinks that it's the fur, but it's not actually the fur. It's the urine, saliva, or dead skin cells. For me, it's definitely the saliva because I'll get hives wherever a dog licks me. And now let's more on that. Pet hair is not an allergen. It can collect dander, urine, and saliva. It can also carry other allergens like dust and pollen. Cat and dog allergies are everywhere. Pet allergens are even in homes and other places that have never housed pets. This is because people can carry pet allergens on their clothing. Also, allergens can get into the air when an animal is petted or groomed. Pet allergens can also be stirred into the air where the allergens have settled. This can happen during dusting, vacuuming, or other household activities. Once airborne, the particles can stay suspended in the air for long periods. Pollen allergies. Pollen is one of the most common triggers of seasonal allergies. Many people know pollen allergy as hay fever. Experts usually refer to pollen allergy as seasonal allergy rhinitis. I think that's how you say it. Each spring, summer, and fall, plants release tiny pollen grains to fertilize other plants of the same species. Many of these pollens that cause allergic reactions come from trees, weeds, and grasses. These plants make small, light, and dry pollen grains that travel by the wind. Grasses are the most common cause of allergy. Ragweed is a main cause of weed allergies. Other common sources of weed pollen include sagebrush, pigweed, lamb's quarters, and tumbleweed. Certain species of trees, including birch, cedar, and oak, also produce highly allergenic pollen. Plants fertilized by insects, like roses, and some flowering trees, like cherry and pear trees, usually do not cause allergic rhinitis. So those are all of the different allergy types. Thank you so much to the AAFA for these wonderful quotes. I didn't have to do as much research, but learned double what I would have. Let's move on.
All right, let's be real. You might be listening to this podcast because you want to make a podcast. And you might be wondering, how do I start doing that? And what are the first steps? How does this entire thing work? Well, let me introduce you to something life-changing. Anchor FM. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. I have been using Anchor I've made 2 podcasts on it, and this is definitely my favorite one to record, and it's fantastic. Honestly, there's everything I need, and I am so happy to have such an amazing free tool that I get to use for everything. So download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Again, anchor.fm. Get started now.
Alright, so now we're going to talk about food allergies versus intolerances. And these bullets are taken from kids with food allergies. So a food allergy, the immune system overreacts to a food that is typically harmless, but in an intolerance, the immune system is not involved with the response. In a food allergy, the immune system creates an allergic antibody, also known as IgE, to try to get the food out of the body. But in food intolerances, there's just a problem digesting the food. With an allergy, IgE can develop even if the food has been eaten frequently in the past, though this is unusual. And in food intolerances, the response is not as dangerous as an allergic reaction. In an allergy, also, there are some immunologically driven reactions to food, known as non-IgE mediated reaction. These reactions are not related to IgE antibodies. Examples are reactions which occur in the esophagus, and another example is food protein-induced syndrome, also known as fries, but with a P instead of an R. Alright, now food allergies and growth. So, kids with food allergies says, why are there so many more kids with food allergies now than when I was a kid? Food allergies are on the rise, but no one knows why. The percentage of children with a food allergy has increased by about 50% between 1997 and 2011. 1 in 13 children in the US now has a food allergy. Around 15 million people in the US have a food allergy. Okay, now we're going to talk about labels, which is kind of sort of related. It's not like the most related, but it's still there. It makes sense. You may not know this, but everyone who has a food allergy or their relatives should know how to read labels. I encourage you, pull out a label right now to check it out. Do you see the bottom where it says stuff in bold messages? It may say something like, may contain tree nuts, or contains milk and soy. Maybe it'll say, processed in a facility with peanuts and tree nuts. Or it may even say, processed on equipment with peanuts and tree nuts. These also include other allergens, but they are only required to include the top 8, which we already said are egg, fish, crustacean or shellfish, tree nuts, wheat, peanuts, and soybeans. Actually, sesame, the one that my brother was allergic to, is the 9th one, so we have to search the entire label. It's kind of annoying, but I mean, it's good to be thorough. But what do these labels really mean? The may contain label is really annoying, and the FDA recommends against using this label. For our family, we avoid these items because it's just better to be safe than sorry. Items like M&Ms contain this label saying that they may contain peanuts. For facility, basically the facility label means that in general, the place that they manufacture an item, there are the allergens listed, but it is in a separate area and there should be no cross-contamination. However, it is possible. Some families stay away from these, but we take the very small risk. He's never had a problem with these items before. For example, Kit Kat is in a facility with peanuts. Equipment. The equipment label means cross-contamination is likely because the item is manufactured on the same machine and they are not cleaned. We stay away from this one. For example, the king-sized Hershey's cookie and cream bar is on the same equipment with almonds. My brother still eats them though because he can eat almonds, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. Now we're going to talk about that. So, food challenges. You may be wondering, what is a food challenge? Well, CHOP EDU states, a food challenge is a definitive procedure for testing whether your child can tolerate a specific food. The test can confirm if your child has a specific food allergy or determine if they have outgrown the food allergy. Only one food can be tested at a time. During the challenge, your child will be given small but increasing amounts of the food in question and monitored very closely for a reaction. Your child will be in a hospital setting during testing, so if they have an adverse reaction, clinicians can respond quickly. Personal experience. So my brother has done 8 food challenges and passed 6. The first one he did was sesame, which in hindsight was a terrible idea, but the doctor told us to do it for some reason. He began with the tip of a spoon of tahini, but immediately couldn't breathe, so he got the EpiPen. That was by far the scariest experience with one of the challenges, as the rest went pretty well. The next one he did was about a year later, and for almonds. He passed that one, and it was exciting because he could finally eat a nut. After that, he passed pecan, hazelnut, macadamia nut, pine nut, and walnut. The only other one he failed was for penicillin, and that one wasn't bad. He just showed a small reaction and then got Benadryl. Overall, the food challenges have left a positive impact on our lives, and we would recommend doing them if you are thinking about it. Whew. So now, highly refined. So what does highly refined oil mean? Snack Safely states, in a nutshell, highly refined oils are edible oils resulting from a process that involves degumming, neutralizing, bleaching, and deodorizing the oils extracted from plant-based starting materials such as soybeans and peanuts. Whew. One benefit of the refining process is that the undesirable free fatty acids, gums, and phosphatides are removed, eliminating undesired odors and imparting uniform color and consistency to the oil. The other is that the resulting oil is left virtually free of allergenic proteins, according to the Institute of Shortening and Edible Oils. You may be wondering, are highly refined oils safe for those with allergies? The FDA states, the FDA exempts highly refined peanut oil from being labeled as an allergen. Studies show that most individuals with a peanut allergy can safely eat peanut oil, but not cold-pressed, expelled, or extruded peanut oil, sometimes represented as gourmet oils. If you are allergic to peanuts, ask your doctor whether or not you should avoid peanut oil. We are considering doing a highly refined peanut oil challenge. A lot of places in the South use highly refined peanut oil, and so does actually Chick-fil-A. We don't ever eat there, and we hope we can change that. However, many people we know with peanut allergies do eat there, so it really just depends on the individual and their decisions. Now, EpiPens and AUVI-Qs. So how does the epinephrine work? First off, the EpiPen is like a shortening of epinephrine, and it's just what you give your kid after they have had an allergic reaction. And like it has to be very severe, and like they go to the hospital and XYZ, So, anyhow, but Live Science states epinephrine works by reversing the symptoms of anaphylaxis. For example, a person's blood pressure plummets during an anaphylactic reaction because the blood vessels relax and dilate. Epinephrine causes the blood vessels to constrict, which raises blood pressure, according to Mylan, the maker of EpiPens. In addition, anaphylaxis can cause a person's airways to constrict, making it difficult for that person to breathe. Epinephrine relaxes the muscles of the airways so that the person can breathe, according to Mylan. Epinephrine also increases a person's heart rate, which helps improve blood flow. And in the EpiPen, it's really just putting you into shock, which is really scary, but it works. And then the AUVI-Q. So our family used an EpiPen up until about 2 years ago when we switched to the AUVI-Q. This is basically the same thing, except it's smaller and more compact, and it talks to you. Basically, in case of emergency, if someone doesn't know how to operate an EpiPen, the AUVI-Q will play the instructions out loud so you know what to do. Both EpiPens and AUVI-Qs come with trainers so that those don't have any medicine in them, so you can practice using one. Conclusion, and this kind of just talks about one other important thing I'd like to add. Stop joking about allergies. These jokes are not funny. Oftentimes, our family will be around others and they'll say something along the lines of, "Oh, he can't eat this or he'll die," and people will laugh. It's not funny. I mean, I've even been to brunch with my grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins. Point being, I was the only one there in my immediate family, and I got a peanut butter waffle. And my family was just joking about how I can scare my brother off with peanut butter. But that wasn't funny at all. And I told them, I said, I don't find that funny. This is a life-threatening situation. It's not a joke. And then even like celebrities think it's funny. In a 2018 interview with Jimmy Fallon, Ricky Gervais decided it would be funny to joke about nut allergies. Here's a transcript of what he said. On the plane, they're saying, "Oh, we're not handing out nuts because this lady is so allergic to nuts that even someone else eating nuts in the vicinity would cause her to have a fatal reaction." And I talked about this on the show that I was furious, right? Like I was going, "Oh God, just because someone's going to die, I'm not allowed to eat nuts." And I do this whole routine. I was going, "I wish I brought my own nuts on." And I said, "And now when I fly, in case that happens again, I have a shower and I just rub myself all over in nuts, right?" And later he talks about how he got backlash from it, and some 7-year-old girl with a severe nut allergy filmed a video to ask him to take the comments back. He states, "She went into, 'Dear Mr. Gervais, I have a fatal delete,' No. That's minutes 5 to 6. These things are not a laughing matter, and this is instead just infuriating. And I will repeat it again. Allergies are not a joke or a laughing matter. Thank you, and have a nice day." That concludes today's episode. Join us on Tuesday for an episode about sleep. If you have any questions, you can send us voice messages on our website. Go follow us on our socials at quaranteen.pod on Instagram and at QuaranTEENP, capital QNP, on Twitter to get the newest information. You can also find us on Facebook by searching Quaran-Teen. Subscribe to our mailing list by making an account on our website, which is linked in the description. Now, we have an important call to action for you. Please support our podcast. If you got this far in the episode, you must be enjoying it, but we are struggling. We're recording on the 2013 Mac, and we don't have any professional microphones for good audio quality. So if you want a better podcast, every penny counts. In order to donate, please go to our Anchor website in the description, and there is a support button. We would really appreciate that. Thank you so much for listening and joining us on Tuesday. A special thanks to Anchor for sponsoring the podcast, and Wix for the amazing website creation tools. Also, thank you to our many streaming platforms: Anchor, Breaker, CastBox, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play Music, and our newest ones, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Bye!